Joe Bawden, Master Shooter, Washington State Match Director, and Backup Gun Guru, joins us today to share his passion shooting bug optics. Welcome to Season 2 of Can We Chat? This podcast has been made possible by our sponsors, CA-IDPA Shooters, responsible training for the competitive minded, and Fast Path Firearms Training, because safety is no accident. What is going on? My name is Paul G., Chief Safety Officer for the IDPA. This channel will help you clarify IDPA rules, shooting techniques, and inform you of the newest gear and what's going on in the shooting community. If you're new here, consider subscribing. Joining me today is definitely one of my most impressive bug shooters I've ever seen.
Thank
Joe
you.
Bawden, very nice to see you.
Good to see you, buddy.
How was the travels down here?
It was good. We came in late, but it was cheapest way to get here, so.
Can't be picky, right?
Yep, can't be picky.
So 2025 Western IDPA Championships here in Sacramento. Joe got on the plane, came all the way down here from Washington. He is here to grace us with his presence. So nice to see you again.
Good to see you, buddy.
So what do you think about the stages?
So far, I mean, I haven't shot any of them, but so far, I mean, it looks like a good match. Looks like it's going to be fun. I didn't see anything that was like overly tricky or, something, circus-like or anything. It's just a good IDPA match as far as I can tell.
Oh, you know what? I would have to agree with that. I shot it for the last 2 days. There were stages that I felt we can go fast on, but I don't know about the go fast thing anymore.
Okay. Yeah, I have my doubts about that sometimes too. It depends on the match, but yeah.
So what's going on? I heard you're an author. You actually are noted, credited for writing things, right?
Yeah, I had wrote a little bit in graduate school, and then through that, I got an email one time, and it was like, hey, we're soliciting short stories, I guess, or articles from on the topic of coming home from war. And I'm a veteran, and that's part of the DZ-214 thing.
Yes.
And
discharge papers.
Yes, it's a play on words of DD-214, combining IDPA and the military, I guess. So I went out to all students and was like, hey, we're looking for stories of people who coming home from war. Not necessarily war stories, but like coming home. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I've been writing for school a lot, and I was like, I'm going to give this a shot. I had just read Marcus Luttrell's book.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and I was like, oh, man, this is a really good book.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I want to just try and write, about the stuff that I went through. And so wrote it, and I was one of the few that so it's like what do they call it? An anthology book, where the editor, he solicits some, and then some he's just like, oh, I know this person, please write me a story. Yeah. And so most of them were, hey, please write me a story, but mine was one that was selected from just sending it in. So
how much of it was actually personal experience?
It was all of what happened to me
Wow.
when I was over in Iraq in like 05.
Yeah. So you came back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you don't feel comfortable about it,
no, I'm fine talking about it.
How did you strengthen your mind to get through that?
Sure. So like, there's just a lot of talking to people, and like, so veterans out there, like that definitely helps. So a lot of relying on friends and family, and just like, hey,
support system.
Yeah, support system. And like, I was one of the lucky guys. Like, I don't have the problems that a lot of guys do when they came back, and it's not like I'm stronger than anybody. It's just it affects people differently. The experiences,
absolutely.
They just affect people differently. And so that's, like I said, sorry for shamelessly plugging it again, but DZ-214. If you go to our website, you can donate to all the charities that we support. We've got a number of them: Semper Fi Fund and Hope for the Warriors. They all deal with issues like that, and they help a lot of people. So if you have the time and the means, please check out our website.
You've been doing a lot of charity. I noticed a whole list of them.
I try. Yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks.
We recently tried to do that. There was a veteran in Virginia.
Yeah.
Which I introduced you to, William.
That was so cool.
Oh man, he sat there and he goes, "Oh, this is a little bit different than what's going on." But
he shot before.
Yes, he has.
Okay.
But he had a long career, medical or military. So Army, Green Beret. He was also a law enforcement, and then now he's out here. So he was shooting revolver.
Okay.
And I was please, what gun did you want? He goes, oh, I'll just shoot the revolver. I'm like, okay, so what gun can I get you?
Yeah.
He goes, oh, I'll do revolver. No. Really? What?
You get the smorgasbord here. But I saw him shoot it, man. He did it well.
He was. It was just pure. You're right.
Yeah.
It was just smooth. Always going forward. Always shooting. Yeah. One of the more accurate guys I've seen.
Yep. Definitely.
And you know, he sat there. Getting used to the heat was one thing yesterday, but
I'll bet.
he had a blast, is what he was telling me. So I was very happy with that. So I think I would have to chalk that up as being successful, getting him here.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
But that's what we were doing.
Dude, that's so awesome.
Thank you. You were a distinguished master, multiple divisions, I would assume.
Just one.
Bug.
Yep, bug.
Well, I think you would go beyond distinguished masters in bug. Is in my book. I would have to say you would be the guru of
thank you.
Bug.
Yeah.
You're starting a new fad, right?
I'm trying.
Well, hopefully it'll be a trend.
With your help.
So, making bugs great again is our Yelp,
Make
right?
bug great again. Yep.
So we're trying to go forth. You know, I even read some things that you were actually starting a petition.
I've got a petition going.
You're going to send that to headquarters?
I'm going to. That's the plan. So I can't, maybe you can help me decide, but I can't decide whether like I should be like, I didn't really know what to expect starting this. We've had a pretty good response, and most of it has been like, so we've got the YouTube stuff, like, and people, it brings in onesie twosies. But really what I've had success with is like going to matches and talking to people.
Insanely so.
Yeah.
So I'm always traveling. I'm always playing. I always get people coming up and they're just like, hey, you know what? I think shooting bugs, you know, what I would like to see is to increase, round counts.
Yeah.
And I sat there and went, well, that's funny because I know a guy.
Yep.
How did you pick the round counts that you were picking? So you're going, well, a lot of the guys were saying just go at 8.
Yeah.
Right? But you're going to 12, right?
So it started out and I was like, because everything's at 10, let's just make it at 10. And so we ran it, because we've been running it in Washington, at Paul Bunyan in Washington.
So you're beta testing this thing already. Yeah,
just doing it. And anybody who wants to come is more than welcome to come. If you want to come to Washington and shoot it, by all means. But, it's really up to, at a tier 1, it's just up to the MD. Like, so he can add bug optics if he wants to. That's at least my understanding.
Yes.
And so that's what we did. And as we started shooting it, it was like, when it's just 10 rounds like everything else, it just kind of loses that flavor of different. I don't know if it's the word differentness.
From going bug.
Yes.
Okay, so
because bug is always a little different.
Bug is extremely. Come on now.
Right. Yeah. So I was like, how are we going to keep it like having that unique bug feel to it?
So your petition and your movement is not just a personal reasons. It's for a community.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
You're actually going to the people that haven't said anything about anything, right? Yep. Because nowadays it's carry optics, right?
Yeah, I mean, like,
dominated by carry optics.
Most of the matches I've been looking at the matches as big matches come in, and I talk about them on YouTube, and I always look at, I combine PCC and CO into optics because like you get an optic in PCC. So I count that, and almost every match, it's between 55 and 60% of shooters are in shooting a dot.
So I was taking count of our local matches, and you're actually right. Absolutely right. And that's across the board, not only in Washington, but down in Southern California. Yeah. So that's half the field, right?
Yeah.
More than half the field, and so I don't even know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
With these guys, right?
It just seems strange to me to have, it's either 6 or 7 divisions of iron sights and 1 division for the majority of the shooters. I'm like, hey, like, it's just, I'm not saying that it's wrong or that we did something wrong by this happening, but it's just like, but now let's recognize that this is the way things have gone, and that's why we divide divisions up. So let's think about it again.
Most of it has to deal with people going to carry optics because of accuracy issues, and now it's carry, right? They're everyday carry.
Every day.
Everybody's throwing optics on there and going to town with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I. Following your lead, so I got a P365, and so I'm starting low, right? So just out of the box, and we slapped an optic on it. Well, I try to shoot the thing as it is, and it reminded me of my backup gun, my revolver, my 5-shot revolver, Smith & Wesson, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to like this at all. So
fair enough,
right? Yeah. So we Viking put an optic on it, and I went out there, and I'm like, So there, if I had one complaint about bug, aside from the size, it was the inability to consistently aim.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was like, okay, well, this would be it instead of a fine tuning. But you put an optic on it.
Yep. Now
it's something totally different.
It's a totally different experience, different game. And if you ask me, it's more like this is IDPA in general is about like what are we doing out there as opposed to carrying in the world, and let's bring that here and then play the game with it.
That's actually in their first pages of their rule book, right?
Yep.
It has to be everyday carry. It has to be something that you're wearing every day. And
I'm not saying like that we should get away from big 2011s and racing and having fun. We should absolutely do that.
Well, I don't know. I beg to differ after the last 2 days. But
fair enough.
But I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're going with everyday carry, so okay, fine. So with the tradition of your rules and the spirit of the game, go up, start to making it a little bit more, I would say, current.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's carve out a place for what's happening now.
Okay. So we'll put that in there, and hopefully it passes. But what happens when we're there? What do you think is going to? So how many rounds are we looking at? So
like I said, we're trying to figure out a way to keep it unique. And so the way that I could think of, I know that most bug guns, your 365, will hold more than 6 rounds to start with.
It will.
But but what I'm proposing is 6 rounds in the first magazine. We get the flavor of bug, and then a 15-round magazine reload after that. Whether it's 2 or 1, I could go either way. But that gives you, if it's 2, then you get 36 rounds. I think in CO, you've got like 31 rounds on you. And in SSP, you've got 45. So it's it's not SSP, it's not CO. Right. And so you're necessitating a reload in a different place. So the plans aren't going to be just show up and shoot what other 10-round divisions are doing.
So you're not just going by, well, you know what, just because everybody's using it, let's just do it. You're actually looking at the whole division, right? You're seeing how this actually works.
Yes.
I think that's fantastic. And you know what, I think that's the only way that IDPA is actually going to respond.
I think so.
If you show them the whole map, they can kind of gear the whole map instead of just one piece, right? Yep. And I think that's why a lot of the rules don't get passed, right?
Yeah, I think so too. I 100% agree. And I've had a lot of people sign the petition. So on the petition, it says, there's 2 options on the petition, and it says like, oh, hey, what if we just did optics and bug? Yeah. That's option number 1. And then option number 2 would be the smallest magazine fits in 6 rounds, 15-round reloads, and almost categorically, everybody who signs it says to me, oh, dude, option 2. I would like to see option 2. So that's what most people have to say. Most people, that's the feedback I have so far, is that people seem to like the 6 and 15 idea.
So if the 15 rounds, you're looking at the XL bags?
Yep. You could, so for when I do it, I'm running it at different sanction matches, bug optics, in different ways. Okay. So I went down to Texas State and I shot that in option 1. Yeah. So 6 rounds in every mag, but with an optic. Great time. But I get it that's not what everybody's going to like, because I'm the weird dude who likes the 6-round game.
Unless you like reloading,
right? Or torturing yourself.
Okay, touche. I stand corrected. That is an awful lot of work.
Yeah,
I would have to say, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the revolver, William had to go through his thing, and I'm like, why would you want to do this to yourself, right? Yeah. So, but old school, I think it's just he's holding on to the spirit of the game, and it just gives him nostalgia, I believe. For me, it gives me more pain.
Oh yeah.
So, but
for sure.
So the okay, so that sounds like what type of power factor were you looking? Are you the same power factor with that kind of stuff, or?
So, I'm kind of with the optic, and so it's actually kind of tough. So like I've loaded 105 for CCP, I've loaded 125 for everything else, and then 95 for bug. It's almost hard to get 95 to work. Like, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
I was just going to say,
yeah.
You know what? They can have it down to 95, but you know what? That doesn't even run my gun.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to leave it at 95, if IDPA, if they were like, oh no, we want to leave it at 95, like, okay, because that way mostly everybody's gonna be over that anyway. But if they were like, if they moved it to 105, the guns don't shoot any differently.
Well, I mean, like the bug revolver, right? It's the same thing. But the thing is that that doesn't work in a revolver.
Oh really?
No.
I didn't know
well,
that.
not mine.
Oh, like 105 wouldn't work in the.
Well,
I hadn't thought of that.
Trying to get it down to 105 coming out of a stub nose, right?
So short.
How do you do that?
I don't know. I don't know that that's possible. I haven't messed around with that, so that's good. That's good information.
We were like at 110, 115.
Oh wow.
So it didn't really matter.
Yeah, like you're already over it.
CCP. Might as well just shoot CCP, right?
Yeah, I don't really see a necessity to have 95. Now, with that being said, so I'm going to shoot 125 with a Glock 26 today. Glock 26 barrels seem to be a little faster because they'll put out, like, with my 125 power factor load, it'll put out like 130. But if I put that 125 load into a 3.1 inch 365, it won't make 125. So I'm like, okay. So definitely I don't think 125 should be the way to go for bug optics. Yeah. But since CCP is 105, I think it could be 105 and everybody would be.
You know, I sit there and I go, let's just try different guns and different formats and stuff like that. But when you get to the ammo and you find out that it doesn't work, you're like, maybe that's what they were thinking when they started making the divisions, right?
Maybe, yeah.
So you are the 2021 the U.S. national champion, right?
For
bug.
Yep. Good match.
And then you went to Italy.
Yep.
Right? Where was the nationals in Italy?
It was in a little place called. Oh, nope, that's not where we went. It was someplace outside of Venice, and I can't remember the name of the town because we went to this place called Villaggio sul Mincio, and no, that was where it was. Anyway, it was beautiful.
Oh,
and
I'm sure.
Yeah, so after 2021, I spent a lot of time like getting ready for that, and Heather, my wife, was like, "We got to go somewhere," and I was like, "Well, what if we shoot IDPA nationals?" And she was like. Or Italian nationals. She's like, okay. And so we did that and took her all over Italy, and it was a great time. So
and you won.
And I won. Yep. It was a great match. Like, and everybody there was like, you know, because you don't know. You can go to different places. You don't know if everybody's going to be the same or if the environment's going to be the same. They were so nice. Yeah. Like, because I don't know. I don't speak Italian, so I'm like, in the place where it was, like, I didn't realize that there's like no, and this is just the kind of crazy stuff that happens to me. So like. They were like, oh, this guy's coming. He's a bug shooter, and like they don't get to go to DM for winning Italian nationals. Which IDPA, I think you should, if it's a national championship, whether it's Italy or US, I think that should be a promotion to DM. Just Joe's opinion. Yeah. But they were like, oh, a DM's coming, and so then there was no cabs in this town, so like I ended up trying to get out to the range. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to communicate with the front desk person of the hotel, and they're like, we think we found it. I'm like, okay. So they call, and it's like this black car limo service. And so
that's considered Uber, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, but I got to get to the range. So like I get to the range. I'm like, these people are going to think I'm a weirdo. So like I get out of the car and they like open it up, and they're like, I can only imagine what they were thinking. Like, who is this idiot showing up in a limo? And who does he think he is? But they were so nice to me, and everybody helped me out. And they were like, did you get your gun okay? Did you get your ammo okay? And everything turned out great, and the match was great. It was an awesome experience.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts.
So you must have been a rock star there. How many bug shooters were there?
I don't remember. I think there was like 19 or 20, something like that.
No, that's significant.
I thought so too. And there's a couple of them that were like, hey, you know, we heard you were coming and we wanted to shoot bug with you. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So yeah, it was cool. Because usually, like, I think there was more at Italian nationals than there was at U.S. nationals.
You know, I fell for that once before in my life.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, Joe shoots bug.
Yeah.
I want to shoot bug.
Yeah. Perfect. That's the goal.
Oh no. So you were here. You walked the grounds. You looked at the stages and so forth. What do you think about the weather? You think you're gonna hold up into this stuff?
Oh man, I hope so. It was hot today. I mean, like it wasn't. I mean, we've had hotter. Like I think at Talladega it was worse. But I'm used to, you know, May in Seattle is cloudy and not warm, but not terribly cold either. But it's definitely colder than this. But I guess we're supposed to get some clouds tomorrow. So like,
yes,
hoping that'll settle down to like a nice, you know, 67 to 70. You know.
Yep. That's what they said. It's not going to get any more than 71. They said tomorrow, so you're good to go. You're going to be rocking that.
Ideal weather.
So you hydration was the main issue today, right? So we couldn't drink enough water.
Yep.
So we were just pounding that stuff in. I think we kind of ran up short on that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So
that's not good.
We're like, oh, that's not too good. So so DZ214 is your YouTube channel.
Yep.
I started noticing that you are now doing a lot of recaps. Match recaps. Well, what stemmed that? So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So I just thought about like, so I'm one of those people who like, I'm super into IDPA. I don't know if I told you. But I found myself just like looking at like, oh hey, you know, I know that if I can't go to I usually go to Rocky, but like if I couldn't go to Rocky, I'd still be interested in look.
Yeah.
And so I'd look, okay, who won ESP? And so I started seeing like, oh well, this person, I see them a lot, and I know that name, and I meet a lot of people going around doing this, and it's like, oh, checking up on people, and it just was a thought like, oh hey, let's just recap this and see what people think about it. And the response to that has been like, oh, we love this. Keep doing this.
No.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people there. So there was a YouTuber that used to do that, right? Podcaster.
Yeah.
Right. And then he, I don't know if he retired it, but he just sat there and it was go fast, don't suck type of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
God, his name is Lloyd.
I think that's what it is.
Gosh, that's gonna kill me because I was a subscriber when he was doing it.
Yeah. He actually mentioned my name, and I went,
oh, nice. Yeah.
I went, what?
Yeah, it's cool, right? Yeah, super cool.
I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
And you know what? I listened to the whole podcast just because of that reason.
Yeah.
Because I heard it, and they're like, hey, we heard this podcast, and they were saying your name. I'm like, what? So I was like, okay, I guess see what they were talking about, right?
Yep.
Maybe it was because I suck or something.
Right. This guy.
Right? But
no.
he went through it, and he was going through down in the standings, and they said my name, and I was like, whoa, man, that actually,
it's cool.
I think that's how this started. Right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, but you're doing. I really enjoy you going through your match or your stage shoots.
Oh, cool.
And I sit there and I'm like, oh my god, that's just insane.
I'm hoping to break the streak today because I've had 2 matches in a row where like when you get to doing stuff at matches where you're like, oh, I'm setting up stages, and then it's like, all right, Joe, it's your turn. I'm like, okay, and then it takes me 2. If I feel like if I'm working the match, it takes me 2 or 3 stages before I'm like into it. And so I've had like 2 matches in a row where I'm just like, oops, there's a target I didn't shoot.
Like yesterday.
Yeah.
Trying to ride the car. I couldn't. We were having some issues with our phone because we didn't have printouts, and I was trying to read the stage description to everybody, and then I'm sitting there, and then I got caught.
Yep.
I'm here doing SO stuff, and they're, oh, you're up. I'm like, grab my stuff and
all right, let's go.
I'm like, whoa, man, what was I supposed to do?
Right. It's tough. It's tough to have a good match and work the match. So,
what do you do
that you do
to get here and back down to here?
So I try to do a lot of mental walkthroughs. So like I'm thinking about that, and I have to. It's tough. It's like for me anyway, because like I'm a chatty guy, and like so like yeah, right. So like I've all these matches, I'm like, if I don't pay attention and like stop myself and be like, all right, you're 2 or 3 people away or 4 people away, and now let's stop chatting and let's think about the stage plan again and go over it again and do a mental walkthrough and get into it. And I'm not afraid. I'm not mean to people, but I've had several times where somebody wants to tell me something or tell me about their run that they just did, and I'm like, I just watched you, dude. But I'm like, I'm in here, right? I'm just like, hey, man, I'm here right now.
That's really nice of you.
Yeah, like, and then not trying to be a jerk, but like, I'm here to do something. I got goals and stuff. And
man, that's so nice.
Yeah.
I mean, me, I tell somebody to kiss my ass.
Yeah. Get them.
Stop talking to me. I think I should probably change more. Thank you, man. You're helping me so well. The last video that I saw yours, you actually mentioned stuff that was going on in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Actually, you were there.
Yep.
Okay, so Austin, right?
Yep.
Had his little thing, and that's actually going to be happening a lot here.
Yeah.
There's
the
there's
ABCD
four stages that have reactive targets.
Okay.
Right? And priority stuff, right? So, but what are your thoughts about shooting a reactive target and being responsible for a target that is greater, I guess, priority than the next target?
I can kind of I thought that when this happened, it first happened earlier in the year. I thought like, no, target can break priority, or a moving target can break priority. That's what I thought the rule interpretation was.
You're in good company, right?
Right.
So I sat there, I'm like, so, I mean, you're there waiting for something that you can't see. Why don't you just go ahead and engage a target that's already out there?
And we're already pretending that we're in a self-defense situation. So like, why am I, so now I'm breaking that illusion, if you will, to be like, there's not a guy there, but I know he's going to be there in a moment. It's like, well, that's not really, in my opinion, it should be, if there's an activated target, it breaks priority no matter where it is, whether it's in the succession or whether it's outside of it. Because that's kind of from what I understand now, because the rules, I get a new interpretation. But from what I understand now is if it's in the order of engagement, then
from a fault line, there you go.
Then you must wait. And if it is if it's steal and then it breaks the priority, then you can continue and come to it after the fact. So okay, I can kind of see what they're.
And you're doing this under a second,
Yes. Yeah. But the reason I don't like that is because that's part of the interesting part of the game to me is not necessarily we have a plan and everybody shoots to the plan and who does it the fastest. It's where can I or anybody find the tenths or the little bits to shave off.
So I'm competing against Viking, and Viking is probably the fastest guy that I know out there. And if I don't keep pace with him, I just might as well just not shoot. Right, because I'm coming in second place or last, right? And in order for me to have some type of advantage, I have to outthink him, right? And because he just has brutal speed. And this is what I go to, and now they cut me off and they say that no, you can't, you have to sit there and you wait for it. I'm like, well, that really doesn't make any sense.
I mean, like when coming up in the sport, like there was what we call it the master plan. It'd be like, okay, there's a way to shoot this and be safe, and then there's a way to shoot the master plan, and it's like, and at some point, and it's different for every shooter. You're like, I gotta stop shooting it safe, and I have to shoot the master plan. If I want to be a master, I have to shoot the master plans. And that usually means I'm going to shoot 2 on the swinger, 2 on the turner, 1 for each steal, and not shoot limited. If I have a bad shot and I see it and I make it up if I have the rounds. But the idea is like, I'm not shooting extra shots. I'm not going to burn a whole bunch of rounds to get to 10 and then reload and then let's just say a second reload, because it's slower. If you have to reload a second time, you're behind the 8 ball in my opinion. So shooting the master plan, that's part of it, is that like I'm going to leverage my ability to transition and steal this guy, that guy. So taking that away, it's not helpful to the game, but
it's definitely not part of the master plan.
No, it's not part of the master plan. Well done.
So final words on there's 8 divisions in IDPA.
Yeah.
Why the hell bug? I mean, we could have started a huge revolution on PCC.
Yeah. I could definitely start a revolution on PCC. Shout out Sydney Ballard. He came down with me, Sydney.
Why bug?
So there's something like interesting to me about this is okay. So you're gonna make me say corny stuff, but so like nobody is out in the world. I'm going to get a comment that says, well, I do it. Like, nobody carries their huge 1911. Just like, that we see all the Colt Peacemakers from back in the day, but what they were actually carrying was those little vest pocket guns. That's what they had most of the time. And so, like, it's interesting to me to try and do better with a littler gun that I actually carry around. Than it is to, like, get super good with a more racy gun. It's not bad, and I'm not coming down like everybody has their thing that they find more interesting. But to me, it's like, ooh, that guy, I know that guy, and I know he's really good with what he's got on him right now. If they see him out in the mall or something. Whereas like, if I see the guy who's really good with his open gun, it's like, is he as good with? Can he do that with this? Is he more? Is he gonna? Is he gonna screw it up or something? Like I want to know if I'm carrying a 365.
Come on,
then I'm killing it with that thing.
Let's be honest. Right?
yeah. Yep, that's it.
I mean that makes a lot of sense. But I mean, why would you want to compete with a bug? Was my first question. But just seeing your videos and so forth, you were actually doing that.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
I'm like, holy cow! So you actually found the way to have you done anything to your trigger to get that fast, or is it just?
No, not really. So I think. So when you say have you done anything to your trigger, like, well, I got a bit. Which one? Oh. I have a really bad. So I'm terrible about this. Like I every time that there's a new bug gun, I'm like, oh, I'll buy it and try it. So like I have a CSX on. Background check right now. I'm back to the 26. I've got the 365s. I've tried the Canik Meta MC9, and generally, like the triggers don't matter as much to me anymore. I remember thinking it was a bigger deal, like when I first started, but now like it's more important to me to, if it's anywhere between under 5 and 3, and I shoot it enough, then I feel comfortable with it. It's more about being comfortable with it to me than it is like making a really good trigger. I appreciate a good trigger, but like, yeah, shooting it a lot.
Yeah,
is what I like to do.
I have a limb trigger in mine, and that doesn't.
Yeah, that's gotta be like tough, dude.
When I first started, it was rough because I have to hold it. I have to put preload it, right?
Yeah,
and you can't do that.
No, gosh.
So the first time I did that, they're like, "Oh, dude, you gotta get your finger off that trigger."
Yeah.
I'm like, I go, but it's.
You know what this is, right?
I have like a mile long that I have to pull, right? So I want to pull it, and they're like, "Well, no, you just can't." I'm like, "Okay." So I had to figure out how to come into array, load it, and then go through the array and release it again, right?
Yep.
And
you shoot that thing well.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Viking always gives me crap.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, well, maybe we should change it. But it's a carry gun, right?
Yeah.
So you can't be doing silly things.
I don't want to mess with it too much. Yeah.
So, but you're actually a connoisseur of bugs.
Oh gosh, I don't know, man. I wasn't expecting to be that. So it started when I was in the police academy, and I was going to be a criminal investigator, and I was going to start carrying a Glock 27. And then it was like, well, if I'm going to carry this, I want to be good with it.
Yeah.
And so, but I was like, I'm not going to go buy a Glock 40 cal. And so I was like, 26 and 27 are the same gun, just 40 cal and 9. And so I was like, well, and that's why in 2021, I was in training in 2020, and I couldn't leave campus. So I was just dry firing with a SIRT pistol, and then finally got released and could come shoot again. I was like, oh, I'm going to do the 26. So that's where that came from. But yeah, like I totally agree. Like you don't want to mess with your carry gun trigger too much. And so like, 365s, I might do the M Carbo trigger kit, but like it helps a little bit, but it's not a lot.
I think the handle is a little too short for me.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah,
especially
see
for
that.
reloads. And I'm like, I just wanted just a little bit more so I won't get hurt.
Yep.
Because I know my HK introduced itself vividly for me.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I will never.
I have one. I have one right now.
You can always tell a bug gun shooter.
I've got a one right now. A blood blister on my hand.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck for tomorrow and Friday or Saturday, Sunday, right?
Yep.
You're going to be pounding that. I know that you'll do well here.
Well, thank you.
You always do.
Thank you.
So, but you were definitely one of my heroes. I really appreciate you showing up.
I appreciate you having me.
A special shout out to our channel membership. This is your support. Busy at work. Please consider being a part of our shooting community, building relationships around safe gun practice and IDPA competition. My name is Paul G, and this is
Joe Bawden.
Please be safe, and we shall see you on the range.
Like, share, subscribe.